Have you noticed something strange happening in professions that were meant to be the safest careers in the world? Imagine you built a house with the strongest bricks you could find. For decades, everyone said this house, the house of the lawyer and the accountant, was indestructible. The recipe for success was simple, like baking a cake. Follow the instructions, master the technical rules, keep your head down, and a perfect career would come out of the oven. Clients would always show up because every business needs a lawyer and someone to manage the numbers. But if demand for these services is still growing, why are so many lawyers and accountants feeling an invisible pressure? Like the walls are closing in. It's like being a chef in a restaurant where more and more customers are ordering food, but you have a strange feeling you're about to be replaced. How can this be? And why are professionals who spend years becoming masters of their craft suddenly finding that clients are no longer impressed by the very skills they built their careers on? Stay with me. We're going to look at why these jobs feel like they are shrinking when they're actually growing. We'll uncover the two giant forces that are secretly changing what legal and accounting work is worth. And we'll talk about the big shift every professional must make if they want to stay valuable. If this conversation helps you see what's really going on, take a moment to click like, subscribe, and share this with a colleague who feels like the ground is shaking under their feet. Let's be honest about what's happening. For the longest time, the value of a lawyer or accountant was like having a secret treasure chest. Inside this chest was all the hidden knowledge, the complex laws, the secret tax codes. You were the only one with the key. If a client wanted to look inside, they had to pay you for the key. But what happens when someone invents a machine that can make a copy of your key for almost free? Suddenly, anyone can open the treasure chest. That machine is artificial intelligence. Think of all the work that used to fill their days. Sorting through mountains of paper, checking every single number on a long list, reading pages of tiny words to find one mistake. It was like being asked to count every single grain of sand on a beach. Those tasks took up most of the billable hours. Now, a machine can do it. A little robot can count all that sand in seconds. It doesn't get tired, it doesn't get bored, and it never misses a single grain. So what happens to the job of sand counter? It starts to disappear. It's not that the whole profession gets wiped out overnight, but the middle starts to collapse. The people whose main job was just counting the sand suddenly find themselves with nothing important to do. They are not being replaced. They are becoming interchangeable. This is the real danger. When your main skill becomes a commodity, you become like a plain white t-shirt. There are millions just like you. Easy to find, easy to replace. And when you're easy to replace, you have to be cheap. Clients stop seeing you as a wise partner and start seeing you as just another cost. They stop asking who is the best and start asking who is the cheapest. And once the conversation turns to price, the game changes for everyone. Clients today are not impressed that you spend all night counting sand. They know a robot can do that. What they want now is something a machine can't give them. They want wisdom. They want insight. They want you to look at the whole beach and tell them, where is the best spot to build our sandcastle? Where is the tide coming in? Are there any crabs hiding under that rock? They don't want the data anymore. They want you to tell them the story behind the data. They don't want the person who can read the map. They want the guide who can lead them through the jungle. This is where so many professionals get stuck. For years, the hero of the story was the quiet expert in the back room who knew all the rules and never made a mistake. Being visible was not required. Being a great communicator was a bonus, not a necessity. That entire model is being torn down. Artificial intelligence didn't create this change. It just hit the fast forward button. When the boring work is done by machines, the value of a human moves up. It moves to judgment, to interpretation, and to strategy. Clients are no longer paying you to do the task. They are paying you for clarity in a confusing world. The professionals who win now are the ones who learn a completely new set of skills. First, they must become storytellers, able to explain complex ideas so simply that anyone can understand. If you can't, your expertise stays locked in your head, invisible. Second, they must become fortune tellers, using all this new data to see around the corner and tell a client what's coming next for their business. And third, they must become masters of the new technology. The ones who treat technology as a threat will be left behind by those who use it as a tool to work faster and think bigger. The lawyer who can see the business battlefield, not just the rule book, becomes the general. The accountant who can predict the financial weather, not just report on yesterday's rain, becomes the ship's captain. They become indispensable. But this means letting go of the old identity, the identity of the quiet, behind-the-scenes expert. This is the earthquake that so many lawyers and accountants are feeling. The market is not getting rid of the profession. It is changing the definition of the job. The safe, predictable path is gone. Those who keep trying to walk where the river now flows will find themselves stuck in the mud doing cheap work. Meanwhile, the ones who build a boat, the storytellers, the guides, the captains, will be sailing ahead to a place of greater value and influence than ever before. The transformation is already happening. The only question is, will you recognize it in time? If this helps you understand why things feel so different today, click like, subscribe, and share this with someone who is trying to figure out their next move. This conversation is just getting started. And if you want to be part of deeper discussions about strategy and how to build your new boat for the future, join the Destiny Architect Telegram chat, where we talk with people who want to create the future